Hey folks, we're on. Okay, yeah, we're on. We're recording. Okay. Hey folks, how you doing? Leave it here once again. Hope you all guys are having a good, and I'll say Happy Memorial Day. To you all out there, hope you're being safe. And sorry about itching my nose like that. It's rude to me. But anyway, guys, hope you're having a good 3 day weekend off. I'm going back to work tomorrow. Just like I'm sure a lot of people are. Anyway, hope you enjoy Memorial Day holiday weekend. You're having fun with your family, being safe. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed these reviews I've been doing. I got more coming up. I've been doing, guys. Well, first of all, remember, stick with the Leave a McNally 983. I know I say this a lot with the mask profile pictures because those of you that are subbed here, you probably know that I have the other channel, the Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and I just want to make sure you guys know. Well, the people, I just say this to the people too that are new. I do have another YouTube channel, but I lost the account, so this is my new one with the mask profile picture. So if if you love watching movies or love watching movie reviews or a big fan of films, or if you love film like I do, then this is the channel for you. Or other different type of fun videos I can do as well on this channel regarding movies. Could be reactions and stuff, or other different kind of videos I would like to do as well. I've done different videos on the channel, and I want to do it here on this channel as well. Yeah, yeah, like medieval times. I recorded that on my phone. It's on the shorts here on my channel. Yeah, it's fun to do different videos on the channel here once in a while. But anyway, guys, what I've been doing, remember, click the little bell. When you subscribe to me, click the little bell, get all personalized. That way you'll know when I upload the next video, or it'll probably tell you about my community post about the next reviews I'm going to do, the next or next videos or whatever. But the next video is going to be on my channel, or if it's like life updates or whatever, you know, it'll let you guys know. So you'll get personalized, so you'll know when I upload a video. You know. Anyway, guys, what I've been doing is a superhero marathon. I've been doing what I call the 2020s eras of superhero reviews. These are superhero movies that came out this decade, 2020 to 2025 right now. And now I'm on the year. I'm now starting off. I ended with the year Wonder Woman 1984. Hope I enjoyed that review. That's on my channel, by the way. That was my last 2020 review for the year 2020. Now we're getting into the year 2021. And remember, guys, I go by years and months. This film came out in March. This is a director's cut of the 2017 film Justice League, and it's called simply titled Zack Snyder's Justice League. I really enjoyed this. Yes, I liked it. Now I do have my problems, my issues with it, but despite that, I thought this was really good. I'm not sitting here saying that this is a perfect movie. I still think that they needed to take a little more time with developing the characters, but I really like what they did with Cyborg in here as well, and Superman a little bit. Well, I did, but I do miss his sense of humor. But I'll get into all that later. But I really did enjoy this director's cut. Yeah, it's 200. It's about 4 hours long. 4 hours long. But the good news is, when you watch the movie, I think it's in 8 parts, some of that or 7 parts. Sorry, but you have this one and this two. This one will end with the upload of them having to stop Steppenwolf, and then this two bringing Superman back to life, and then having a final fight with him. Yeah, that was just a subcover. But I do have the film on the Blu-ray. Yeah, you do have special features like Rise of Justice League of Zack Snyder reflects on his trilogy of this films in the DC universe, starting with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, talking about how his idea for this version came to be. So let's get into it, shall we? Remember, you don't if you don't like the movie, that's fine. I understand. Believe me, if you didn't like the Justice League 2017 film, I don't like it either. But I think this is definitely an improvement. But I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece, though. No, I can't sit here and really say that. But for the history of the production of the Justice League, let's see. Okay, I guess I'm going to do a little quick. I'm not going to go back to the Justice League film, read that. I did that in my review. But on the way to the Man of Steel, Zack Snyder outlined his vision for the DCU, consisting of a 5 film arc, including starting with Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, which was the sequel, and a Justice League trilogy. Snyder's original intention was for Batman v Superman to be the darkest in the franchise and have films become lighter in tone, which I didn't like that movie. Maybe he would have made it lighter in tone. You know, I mean, he can make a dark superhero movie. He really can do good at that. I get a lot of people didn't like Man of Steel, but I like Man of Steel. But if you want to see something really darker, then go see Watchmen from 2009. That is a fantastic film. Yeah, that's a long movie too, but about 3 hours, but it's really good. However, Superman got poorly received criticism for his dark tone, slow pacing, and lack of humor, which I agree with that. Yeah, it was too depressing. Not enough Batman much. It felt like more of a Batman movie. Superman died way too quickly. Spoilers! Spoilers, there's spoilers in this review, by the way. And Batman v Superman Dawn Justice, Superman does, at the end of the fight with Doomsday, Superman does sacrifice himself and get killed, but a little too quickly. But then you got Suicide Squad 2016, which sucked. And then, Justice League, which is because it was a month away from filming. Everything just came a little too fast. I don't blame Snyder completely. I do blame a bit of Warner Bros. I think they were in a rush because they were trying to get caught up with Marvel. It was time where MCU movies were, you know, were doing well at the box office too. I mean, 2016 was also the same year Civil War came out. That made billions of dollars at the box office. Yeah. The photography began for Justice League in April 2016, wrapped in the following December. Multiple cuts of Snyder's Justice League were shown to Warner Brothers, addition to friends and family of Snyder. A final runtime visual were achieved. Though the cuts had incomplete visual effect shots and audio mixing. Snyder says multiple cuts were done, only requiring a few CG tweaks for completion. Justice League by February 2027. Teen was released. Studios ended disliking it as the plot was too complex and divided it, which they shouldn't have done. So the theatrical version, after disapproving the design's direction, they hired Josh Whedon, who of course directed the Avengers and Avengers of Ultron, to rewrite the script and help with reshoots. Warner Bros. Decided not to delay the film due to concerns about the parent company, AT&T. Snyder was expected to film scenes that Whedon rewrote, and even though they were working together to meet Warner Brothers request from Snyder's daughter, his daughter sadly passed away back in March 2017. So therefore, Snyder had to quit his work on the film. Yeah, he had to deal with his daughter's death. So he had a good reason for leaving the production. Snyder left though, while producer his wife also departed soon after. They claimed for 2018 that Snyder quietly fired the studio 3 months prior to the public announcement of his departure. Wheeler Layton assumed full control of production, although Snyder retained directorial credit. Yeah. Some of the film score was done by Danny Elfman. And Snyder's art direction, there is violence. Yeah, there's a bit of violence. This film, the Snyder cut, the director cut, is rated R. And they cut that out to give it a lighter tone. Justice League was released theatrically November 17, 2017. Described as Frankenstein film, identifies the work of two different directors. Visions, Nolan and you know, his wife Deborah and Christopher Nolan, who directed the Dark Knight trilogy and helped produce Man of Steel as well, advised me not to watch it. The other film's poor performance. Warner Brothers decided to move away from Snyder's vision for a universe of films and focus on standalone films, and solo franchises. So a lot of people were complaining and whining and bitching about we needed the Snyder cut. That there was a cut out there. You know, he kept it as a memento so that he could show people for snippets of footage. He sent an editor to retrieve materials released related on the film hard drive. He was asked to return them to be studio property, but refused to do so as he said it was personal use. Immediately after the eventual release, Justice League fans created an online petition to release Snyder Cut. I'm glad they did. Yeah, that gained 100,000 signatures. The hashtag release the Snyder Cut on social media. We need to release the Schumacher Cut hashtag. Huh. Yeah. It was compared to Superman 2, which I already like that version. I know I wasn't big on the Donner Cut though. But that's just me. Yeah. I still haven't watched the director's cut of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Now that I watched this, I might actually watch it. I still have the movie. You know. Remember the Justice League cast and crew showing support for the Snyder Cut release included Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, and Ray Fisher because they, as you know, there was issues behind the scenes with the rewrites, and I don't think the cast got along with Josh Whedon, which I don't know if that's completely true, but I know Gal Gadot said he was maybe making some sexual comments to her, and Ray Fisher said that he was being a jerk. I don't know, but at least the actors were supporting it. Affleck's son of Richard's concern. Deborah said executive producers Nolan and Emma Thomas encouraged him to make the Snyder Cut. The cast and crew voiced support through social media. Even Kevin Smith did, and Alan Taylor. Following the death of his daughter, though, apart from Justice League fans from the release, movement soon began a campaign to raise money for suicide prevention, which is real nice for people to do. I didn't know his daughter. I guess his daughter committed suicide. I don't know, but very sad that it happened. At least they're supporting him. Shows that people care, you know, to see his version. And eventually, I guess Juice really asked us to release his undercut in January 2020. I guess some members have been toxic. Now, I'm not going to be toxic. I'm not a Snyder fanboy that's going to, not like, oh my god, I love Snyder to death, you know. And if you don't like his movie, no, I'm not like that. I'm not a toxic fan, okay? He said that it did exist, and of course, he started to release it. I guess, you know, Warner Brothers gave him that permission eventually. Snyder invited executives from Warner Brothers, HBO Max, and DC to his home to watch the assembled black and white version. Despite the process being compromised by the then ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, which was escalating around the time, so it took a while for this to cut to be released because of COVID-19 and everything. The pandemic happened. In September 2020, it was revealed that Snyder was preparing to film additional footage. Affleck and Fisher was part of the roles. As a result, it was estimated to have $70 million of a budget. Later that month, Amber Heard, Jared Leto, Joe Manganiello joined the cast to respond to the roles for Mirror, the Joker, and Deathstroke. Snyder also directed an additional scene with Ezra Miller as Flash, I presume. Snyder sent the film's crew drawings and of how he wanted the scene to look. The final scene was originally filmed with Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, portrayed by Wayne Corum. But we do get John Jones in here. We do get AKA Martian Manhunter in this film. Differences from the first is the story saying scenes that were removed by Joss Whedon, they brought it back in here. Snyderverse does not use many of the scenes shot by Whedon for his version of Justice League. Uh, Tom Halbert, also known as Junkie Alex, composed the film's score. He's replaced by Danny Elfman. Marketing. HBO had posters, so it was released on HBO Max, I believe. Yeah. Let me go over see. Sorry. But if you want to read more of this stuff, just go on Wikipedia, or if you have the film on Blu-ray yourself, you could probably have, you know, where like I said on this Blu-ray version, if you get this, if you buy this movie on Blu-ray, if you like it, you do have the road to this film, Justice League, and Zack Snyder talking about how this came to be. You know, if you guys are interested in buying the Blu-ray of it or whatever. They consider the film improvement of the 2017, which I agree. And I'm sure other fans do too. For the cast, though, you do have Ben Affleck coming back as Bruce Wayne, Batman, who's the co-founder of the Justice League. They get protecting Gotham City as a vigilante dressed as Batman. I'm not going to get into the history of Batman. You know about the character of Batman, but Ben Affleck's been in a lot of movies like Good Will Hunting. He wrote with Matt Damon and Robin Williams. Great film. He was in Reindeer Games. I liked him in that movie, but I didn't care. I know he played Jack Ryan. He also was worked with Marvel, Daredevil, and Daredevil. Sorry, I'm just trying to cross my leg here. Daredevil, the Director's Cut. I believe he also worked with maybe, yeah, uh, maybe a little bit. You know, I think Dogman was that directed by I wonder Kevin Smith, maybe. Anyway, Henry Cavill was talking Superman. He's a kryptonian survivor who with superpowers based on Metropolis with superpowers. He serves as the inspiration for the Justice League, later becoming a member of the team. And of course, Superman is from another planet, Krypton. Of course, we don't get the CGI mustache here, but the reason for that is because at the time Henry Cavill was working on ah, Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible, Fallout, you know. And of course, he was in The Man from Uncle. I didn't like that movie, but I liked him in it. I could definitely see him as the next James Bond. They need to have him as the next Bond, in my opinion. I would love to see him play James Bond. But he was in Justice League, of course, Man of Steel, Black Adam, having a cameo, The Flash had a cameo, and well, no, he didn't have a cameo in Shazam. No, Deadpool Wolverine, he has a cameo as Wolverine, different version. Amy Adams as Lois Lane, reportedly Daily Planet, and love interest of Clark Kent. She was in movies like Catch Me If You Can, Enchanted. I liked her in Enchanted. She was also in an episode of Smallville, Craving. You she was also in the first Man of Steel movie, Batman Superman Done Justice, Justice League, the theatrical version. Gail Gadot as Diana Prince Wonder Woman, and more Demigod as Princess and Amazon Warrior. Co-founder of the Justice League. Gail was started out when I first saw her movies as Fast Four, the Fast and Furious franchise, Fast Four, 5, and 6. From what I heard, her character comes back in 10, even though she died. But she was also in Night and Day, Date Night. Her first time playing Wonder Woman was Batman Human Dawn Justice. Of course, Wonder Woman, the Justice League 2017 film. She voiced Shank in Ralph Breaks the Internet, working for Disney. You know, 2018. Shazam Fury of the Gods and Flash. She has a cameo as Wonder Woman, and of course was in Wonder Woman 1984. Yeah. Ray Fisher goes back as Victor Stone Cyborg. He's a former college athlete and football player who, after being cybernetically reconstructed after a nearly fatal car accident, is turned to a technic organic being invented by habit of biochemically alien technology. He's basically a machine. Ray Fisher, I can't think of anything else I've seen him in. Just these movies. Says he's in Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2, which I've never seen. I've just seen him in these movies. Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry Aquaman. Atlantean have blood with awkward and telepathic powers. He can talk to fish. Yeah, I still this takes place events before uh Aquaman. Yeah, the first one. Johnson Family Vacation. He was in that. I remember him in that. He was involved with the Headless Stallone. I think he was a villain in that. I've never seen that movie, but I heard it wasn't good. Cronenberg remake. Yeah, I saw that and that film sucked. I'm sorry, but he's no Arnold Schwarzenegger. And of course, Batman Superman. He was a cameo in Arthur and was in Justice League and Aquaman movie. And this cut, and he came back as Aquaman. Well, for a cameo in The Flash, he was in Fast 10, of course, as the villain. But he came back as, I think, probably last time as the character as Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom. He's going to be still working with DC. He's going to be in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow as Lobo. So I'm kind of curious. I can see him as Lobo. I can just see Jason Momoa as Lobo. Ezra Miller comes back as Barry Allen the Flash. Essentially, college student pursuing a degree in criminal justice in the hopes of writing his father, who was accused of murder of his father. He's capable of moving superhuman speeds and entering the Speed Force of time travel, what called the fastest man alive. He's the Flash. Not my Flash, but yeah, hopefully they won't let him be Flash anymore after being the asshole that he is. Of course, he had a cameo about Superman Down Justice, Suicide Squad, taking down Captain Boomerang, Just League 2017, this cut, and also had his Flash movie 2023. But I don't think he'll be Flash ever again, hopefully. All that legal shit. Yeah, he choked a woman, he threatened to kill his neighbors, he did a lot of freaked up stuff. William Dafoe comes back as Vocal. Now, William Dafoe was in a lot of movies. He was John Wick, but you all should know him as Green Goblin, Norman Osborn in Spider-Man 2002, and the main cameos in Spider-Man 2 and 3. And he's also, that same year came out, if I can talk right, the same year, uh, can I even talk right? The same year came out Spider-Man No Way Home, where he respired the role. And I heard he's going to respire the role again. Yeah. Last Step, Temptation of Christ, playing Jesus in that. Platoon, Mississippi Burning with the late Gene Hackman, he was in that. Speed 2 Cruise Control, which I have not seen. I heard that film was awful. Buddha Saints, the Buddha Saints. American Psycho playing a detective in that. Uh, XX State of the Union playing the villain in that. He was alright in that. He's good, but that film was just awful. Like I said, it said he's going to be in. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I just heard rumors. Maybe I'm wrong. But of course, he was in Beetlejuice. But Defoe's a good actor, and he was in the first John Wick movie too. Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor, Superman the Nemesis, and former head of LexCorp. His appearance was set to intended to be released after Affleck's Batman movie, but that never came to be. Jesse Eisenberg, I've never liked him as an actor. He was in like movies like Now See Me 1 and 2, Zombieland movies. I've never been a fan of him, and I don't like him as Lex Luthor. Jeremy Irons is Alfred Pennyworth, Bruce Wayne's butler, who provides support for Batman and Justice League. Jeremy Irons, of course, is the butler. He knew about Bruce's past. He knows that he's Batman. Knows him better than anyone. He was, of course, the villain in Die Hard with a Vengeance. Simon. He voiced Scar in Lion King. Great actor, in my opinion. And funny though, I think this month got her with Avengers turned 30. Diana Lane is Martha Kent, since adopted mother. She was in movies like The Perfect Storm, The Cotton Club, the First Man Stone movie, a movie called Little Romance. No, it wasn't that. Chaplin, I'm guessing, was that with Robert Downey Jr. Walk on the Moon. Connie Nielsen as Queen Upta, Diana's mother, Queen Amazon. She was in the TV show The Following and 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams, and Soldier with Kurt Russell, and The Hunted with Tom Lee Jones and Benedict Del Toro. And she did come back to play the part in Wonder Woman 1984. J.K. Simmons plays Commissioner Gordon, the Gotham Police. If I can talk, the Gotham City Police Commissioner. J.K. Simmons, of course, played J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man trilogy, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, and he did respond to the world that year of 2021 in Spider-Man: No Way Home. Yeah. And I liked him in a movie called Whiplash, playing a villain in that. Karen Hens as Steppenwolf. I thought, he's a new god military officer on the planet Apocalypse. Leads an army of parademons to search for the three mother boxes. I can't say the actor's name right. Saw him in, was he in War Games? I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I'm sorry. No, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was another guy. I'm sorry. I think I'm wrong about that. No. But he was in Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Yeah, but he did a lot better here, though, I think. Zing Rang as Ryan Chow, a scientist working at Star Labs under the leadership of Stella Stone. God, I'm sorry. Chinese man who's no. Amber Heard as Mira. Lydia has Ellie Powers. She does come back in the role in Aquaman Lost Kingdom. Hopefully never do it again. Joe Morton as Silas Stone, Victor Stone's father, and the head of the scientists at Star Labs. He was in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Lone Star, uh, Paycheck, Stealth, Batman v Superman Dawn Justice, and Justice League. Having a cameo on that. And for TV, let's see, he was also in Smallville. Yeah, playing Dr. Stephen Hamilton in season 1 and 2. Lisa Lovin Cook as Menthlia. Can't say her name right. Ray Porter portrays Darkseid, a tentacle new god from Apocalypse. He also did some voice work for the Scarecrow. Let's see. There's some TV shows as well. U.S. Secretary of Defense Calvin Smoke later revealed to be John Jones' Martian Manhunter, played by Henry Lennox, who played the character in Man of Steel, Batman v Superman Dawn Justice. It's a shame we get more of him. Billy Crudup plays Henry Allen. He's also known for playing in Watchmen as Dr. Manhattan. He was also in Mission Impossible 3. Can't even barely talk, can I? Robin Wright comes back as Annie Hope and with Small Smith Kim Costner in voice recording, and same thing with Russell Crowe does as well. Mark McClure has a brief cameo as Jerry, a police officer who befriends Lois Lane. Yeah, Mark McClure. Well, we'll get to that later, but you know who he is. I'll say it later. And the film is directed by Zack Snyder, of course. He's, like I said, directed Watchmen, Dawn of the Dead, 300, Watchmen, Psycho Punch, Man of Steel, Just League 2017. Well, mainly just worked on the story, but it was more Josh Whedon took over that role when his daughter died, sadly. I mean, he did not go back to direct another film since. Screenplay was by Chris Tiro. He's directed Heights, Damages, Argo, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. Well, was a writer on that. And it's also stories authored by him and Will Bell. He was also written films like Gangster Squad, Aquaman, Bad Boys, Ride or Die, Beverly Hills Cop 4, Axel Foley, based on characters from DC, produced by Charles Roven. He's Bruce Callahan, Kicking and Screaming, Scooby-Doo 2, the 2002 movie, and Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, Man of Steel, Batman Superman Justice, Warcraft from 2016. And after this movie, he would go on to also produce The Suicide Squad and Uncharted and Open Air, working with Christopher Nolan. Deborah Snyder, who is Zack Snyder's wife, also produces this film. She produced movies with her husband like 300 Watchmen that he directed, and Sucker Punch and Man of Steel, 300 Rise of Empire, Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad as well. Executive producer on that though. Cinematography by Fagner Wigner, who I thought was real good. Legend of Barney Thomas, Victor Frankenstein, Justice League, 2017 film. Overlord, which is a film I really liked, which I also saw that in theaters. Venom: The Last Dance, which I don't care. Master of the Universe, which is a remake coming out next year. Yeah, Venom: The Last Dance, I didn't care for that. Edited by David Berner. Talk Radio for the July, The Doors, Heaven and Earth, The River Wild, Fear, Independence Day that he edited, The Patriot, the one with Mel Gibson, not Steven Seagal, Wanted, 2012, Avatar: The Way of Water, Avatar, yeah, A and Ash, whatever the heck it was called. Music by Tom Holmberg, replacing whatever the heck his name, Miss Danny Elfman. But Danny Elfman do scores like Batman, Batman Returns, and Dick Tracy, and the Flash TV series from the 90s, a little bit. He's also done music score for Divergent, Mad Max Fury Road, Deadpool 2016, Tom Raider part of the 2018 film Terminator Dark Fate, Sonic the Hedgehog, and the sequels, Scoob, Godzilla vs. Kong, Army of the Dead, 3,000 Years, Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scavenger. Production companies are Warner Brothers Pictures, DC Films, LA Entertainment, The Stone Quarry, distributed by HBO Max, Warner Brothers Pictures. Uh, Release was March 18, 2021. The film was 242 minutes long, about 4 hours and 2 minutes long, yes. But like I said, these two, you have two discs here that separate the movie. And $70 million it cost to make. It would be released on HBO Max. It was. I did see it when I started living in the, when I started living in the apartment. I started my job at Rooms to Go was when I first saw the movie. It had to be a weekend or something, you know. Because I always worked during the week when I had that job in Georgia at Rooms to Go. I think it had to be a weekend. But anyway, now I'm going to give you the plot synopsis. Those who haven't seen this movie, if you haven't seen the theatrical version of this movie or Zack Snyder's version, Justice League version, if you've never seen this film, sorry about, if you've never seen this film, there are going to be spoilers in this review. It's probably going to be a long review, so if you're going to watch this full video, though, get some popcorn out, eat something, turn the volume up, make sure you can hear me and understand me. I apologize for the quality, but you guys can hear me. But if you've never seen this film, Zack Snyder's Justice League, turn this video off right now, just for your own sake. Don't spoil it for yourself, okay? All right. Pretty much what the story is that, fueled by his restored faith in humanity, inspired by Superman's selfless act of sacrifice, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, enlists newfound ally Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, to face an even greater threat. Together, Batman and Wonder Woman work quickly to recruit a team to stand up against this newly awakened enemy that is Steppenwolf, who is looking for these three mother boxes that can destroy the world, but he's working for somebody else that is his father, I believe, Darkseid. Yeah, you see Darkseid on here. Darkseid is he runs Apocalypse, and he's a conqueror, so he conquers. And he failed to conquer Earth, and now he's coming back to do it, with having Steppenwolf to do it for him. Despite the formation of an unexpected League of Heroes, Batman, along with Wonder Woman and the new team members Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash, it may be too late to save the planet from an assault of catastrophic proportions. So they have to say, to stop God Steppenwolf and his army of parademons from conquering the Earth as he's doing it for his overlord, his father, Darkseid. So the Justice League team up, and eventually they have spoiler. They had to bring Superman back to life to help in the fight, and they have to fight them as a team and take them down before Darkseid rules the Earth. You know, conquers it and could kill billions of people. So anyway, like I said, there were different parts of the movie. I think it's like in 7 parts or 8. But we'll talk about these parts as we go along. And again, if you've not seen this movie, do yourself a favor right now. Turn the video off. Do not spoil it. I'm warning you right now. Do not spoil it for yourself. Okay? I don't want you guys to be mad with me. Hold on here. Just checking the time on my phone. So, okay, I'm still good on time. All right. Now we're going to talk about the movie itself. Then I'll give you my final thoughts and opinion on the movie. I know we're 30 minutes in. Just bear with me. Like I said, get some popcorn, sit down, and relax. So again, there will be spoilers in this video. So if you've never seen Zack Snyder Justice League, turn the video off right now. You've been warned. And if you don't like it, guys, that's okay. But I really did enjoy this version. So let's get into why I enjoyed it, and I'll tell you why later I enjoyed it. But let's get into the plot and the story. Let's talk about the movie itself. Then I'll give you my final thoughts and opinion on this later at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, so the movie opens up with Superman dying, sacrificing himself to Doomsday, which I do like the title. I know people complain about that with Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. I didn't like that either, but here I liked it. The music was pretty good. You have Superman, stabbing him with a kryptonite spear, and then him stabbing Superman yelling. You have one, Lois Lane looking, Wonder Woman is looking, Batman's looking, as they're seeing Superman die in front of their eyes. And his scream is so loud, you know, the Amazons can hear it, Queen Hippolyta can hear it, Atlanteans can hear it. That includes Mira and William Defoe's character, Rocco, they can hear it. The whole world is hearing Superman yell and scream from his death. It releases a death cry that reverberates through the world, that awakens the three mother boxes. The three cubes of endless power. One in Atlantis, one in three mother boxes. One is in Atlantis, the Mascara, and the last one is in Victor Stone's bedroom. Yeah. And so we start with part one. Part one is Don't Count on It, Batman. So after this, Bruce vows, because he believes that there's going to be a greater threat to come. And he's right, because you find out with Darkseid's history that he did plan to come to the Earth, that he was defeated. I'll get into that a little later. And since Superman died, they had something to fear, and that was Superman that could stop him. Now, since Superman is dead, died, he's going to try it again, but have Steppenwolf do it for him, his son, who has disappointed him, and he wants to do it for his father to gain his favor again. So Bruce Wayne makes a good vow on it, vow to his grave. So he goes to this remote village, talking about Arthur Curry. Of course, we see Jason Momoa there, who is, of course, the Aquaman, but doesn't tell him. They say it in their language. He's like, I'll give him $25,000 right now. He's like, why am I going anywhere? Ain't that right? And like, Bruce just knows it's the man he is right in front of him. Arthur like grabs him and he gives him the money. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. So you just like a Batman. Well, you got them? Well, that's a screwed up place. He's like, Batman, grown man is a bear working alone. So sorry, but you're not my problem. He swims away. These ladies start singing, and some movies have these songs in there. When these ladies start singing, I'm like, really? Was that needed? Batman, Bruce just walks away, goes back to Alfred, telling him it didn't work out, that Aquaman didn't want to join up. But he helps the village. He goes into the water a lot. Alfred, they talk in Alfred, Jamie Irons, which I thought was great to see him again. As good as Alfred, I think. They talk about the Flash, and like, well, so maybe Lex Luthor was just a madman, raving lunatic. So, but Bruce has a feeling that there's some danger coming. I thought Ben Affleck did a good job here, really good job here. It seems like he cared more. Yeah, I can definitely tell in Justice League 2017 films, like this cast did not like working with Josh Whedon. I don't know why. What I see behind the scenes, especially like Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron. When I watch behind the scenes of that, you can tell like Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., all the cast of that MCU movie, like they like working with him. But I don't know. Superman, there's signs of Superman everywhere he's passing. Especially his Lois. She visits his memorial every day. She gives coffee to a guy named Jerry that's played by Mark, this officer, played by Mark McClure. Now, if y'all know who that is, he played Jimmy Olsen in the Christopher Reeve Superman movies with Superman, the movie Superman 2, the original version, the Donner Cut, I'm sure, yeah, the Donner Cut, Superman 3, and Superman 4, the Quest for Peace, where he played Jimmy Olsen. And she goes to Arthur, yeah, not Arthur, Clark's grave. They can't tell him that who he is, of course. Yeah. And Lois misses him every day. She's kind of just quit writing. She's quit reporting. She's just been really depressed lately, sad, heartbroken over his death. And you find out that, see Martha going to her son's funeral along with, I believe, also buried next to Jonathan Kent, played by Kevin Costner, when Jonathan died from the tornado. Um, but apparently the Kent farm is being closed. But Martha's okay with it, with moving out. You see her drive the U-Haul, and she hasn't been able to pay the bills. She does make a visit to Lois. They talk about Clark and how things are going, telling her that you need to move on. And then you see her eyes turn red, and that it's actually John Jones, aka Martian Manhunter, because Lois, the world can use you. You know, crime's also going up. Superman is no longer around to stop it. But in London, you have these, like we saw with Wonder Woman, these terrorists who wish to turn the clock in Europe back 1,000 years by blowing a bunch of buildings. I don't know why, they're just insane. Maybe they think they're better that way. This guy keeps people hostage. Wonder Woman grabs the guy, with the lasso. Who are you? And he's about to tell me what they are about. She's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me what you're up to. And then they're gonna blow up half the cities, kill a lot of people, going back to the Dark Ages. And Wonder Woman hears the bomb. She knocks out. She punches the guy, which is real good action. I think the action was a lot better shot in here. And she grabs the bomb, throws it up in the air. The guy tries to shoot the people. Like, you need a backup plan. And when she stops it, with her braces, with the brace she's got on, because Wonder Woman stop bullets with it, and she's protecting the people, and she knocks the guy out real hard, enough to where his hat goes outside in front of on top of a cop car. Then she tells these little girls like, it'll be safe," and this little girl's like, "Can I be like you? You can be anything you want to be." That was nice seeing Wonder Woman talk to little girls and being an inspiration for them, But she saves them, of course. But then you open up at Themyscira. You've seen Queen Opta, uh, her mother. You have Steppenwolf, Lieutenant of the Force of Apocalypse of Darkseid, and I believe he's a son, has determined to get the mother boxes still for sure stealing from there. So they said, it won't go off as like, what's something going on? Something's going wrong. And they say, protect it. Don't, show the fear. And they see Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf, I think, looks amazing in this film. In the first film, he looked awful. He looked like shit in the CGI. But and here he looks good. It looks like, it kind of reminds me of Theros. That he is a big threat that's coming. And he's willing to kill these Amazons any way he can. Does not care to brutally murder them either, as he does kill some of them. I mean, he's got like this big armor suit. I mean, his face looks real good and intimidating. He tries to grab the mother box, but the Amazons are able to throw it to her, and he got his, of course, the parademons, which are Darcy's army that are aiding him, and he chases Queen up the same thing, But he's able to grab the mother box. These Amazons, they shoot like maybe 10, 15, 20 something arrows in his body, and he just bounces it off. He's like, well, Amazon woman, you're gonna lose. And she's, Queen after she tries the arrow in his face, but he catches the arrow, breaks it, tries to do it again, but he gets away. And she knows she has a warn Diana, so she gets the fire. Men won't know, but Diana will. Diana the Sea. And then you get part two, which is the Age of Heroes. Let's say this movie is set up in different parts with this 4 hour, 2 minute running time. You have Steppenwolf stepping on his base of operations. He reports it to D-Said. He's telling him, he's like, I've conquered the Earth. I got one of the blocks. I just gotta find two more. Let Lord Darkseid know that I will conquer the Earth, that I will return his favor. And he said, no, you failed him miserably. You betrayed your own father. You have to conquer 50, like, over 1,000 worlds. He's like, I will succeed in this. Bows down, and then he sends the parademons to find the second one, the second mother box. Searches them for the other two boxes. Parademon tracks down one of the boxes at Star Labs where you have Victor Stone's father, Silas, played by Jordan, who I thought, they gave him a lot more to do in here. And like I said, like they did with Cyborg, you have Victor who is just sitting at home. He can't really go out because of the way he looks. When people look at him, it's like walking the street like one time and the way he looks, and people are just scared of him. But Victor's depressed. He's lost his mother as well. But Silas goes home and tells his janitor, tell your family I said hi, have a good night, okay? And then the janitor sees what's happening. Like, what in the world? Sees like the wall broken, the ceiling is broken. Sees the rubble. Then sees the Parademon. Parademon doesn't kill him, kidnaps him because he has knowledge of. And they start kidnapping people. And also in Justice League version, they thought, well, I did like in the original version when Batman is fighting a Parademon, but they think that Batman is kidnapped people. He's been Bruce has been Batman for 20 years now. They think he's going to Metropolis, start kidnapping people, killing them probably. They don't know. But Gordon knows better. Anyway, before I get ahead of myself, yeah, Ray Chow is this guy who's his assistant. They tell the police that the 8 employees have gone missing, or someone's trying to steal a technology. They do have Superman ships there as well in this facility. Silas reports victims of the kind of monster that broke into the lab, and the box likely isn't safe in their home. Diana, is at work, and she says again, oh, nothing interesting. Working on antiques and sculptures and stuff, just doing a little bit of her painting. She realizes the fire, that it's a warning from her mother. She travels to the temple. She has to sneak away from these cops, and she sneaks to the temple. She grabs the arrow that was burning. She sees a series of painting dealing a battle from long ago against an evil invader from a dark place that is Darkseid. Then you have Arthur. You see him again, saving this sailor from drowning. Drops the gun on the ground on the table. Transfers like on him, and then walking slowly, jumping back into the water. He meets Vocal, who just get Arthur, take up his mount on. He's like, I'm no king. She abandoned me and stuff. He's like, well, you can't run away from ever. But this trident, your mother's trident, will be here for you when you want it. He's like, I'm not gonna listen. I am no king. And Arthur just doesn't want nothing to do with the Atlantis. He doesn't like the Atlantis. He hates them because he blames them because when his father, of course, he met his mother, Nicole Kidman, if you've seen the Aquaman movie, fell in love, and his mother felt like his mother abandoned him. So therefore, he has a hatred for the Atlantis. Doesn't want to be king. And he even tells him about Orm that he wants to start with the surface world. But Arthur's like, not my problem. But he's trying to spark war with surface world. He doesn't want to take on the throne. But Vogel wants us that, you can't turn your back on the world forever. You eventually have to come on. Move on from that. Then Diana goes to see Bruce in Gotham. Say, oh, it's a nice toy, Bruce. Then she tells Bruce about the story about 5,000 years ago that the forces of Apocalypse, led by Darkseid, who is feared by the universe, he's a conqueror, he invades worlds, kills them, and conquers them. You know, he slaughters these alien forms, these life people, or aliens, or wherever from they're from, slaughters them, murders them, conquers it, slaughters them like they're lamb, or they're just like they're cow to him, a cow that he can just kill. You know, he tended to use these mother boxes, three of them, conquer Earth, but you had the Atlanteans at the time, Green Lanterns from Oa, Atlanteans, like I said, the Amazons and the humans, and Zeus and his son Ares, god of war, take him on in a fight. And I like seeing Zeus. Seeing Zeus was pretty cool. Some of the CGI doesn't work that much. Some was good. Fighting Darkseid. Darkseid gets like a real bad cut here. Like the King of Atlantis, like stabs him real hard in in his chest, and not his chest, but his shoulder right here. Darkseid has to give up the fight, and we see a bit more of the fight, which is, when you see Darkseid get cut here, you see blood come down everywhere on his body from his shoulder. And when he gets the people to his side, when he either kills them or basically turns you into a parademon, or you become like his slave, basically. So they left the mother boxes behind. After the battle, the boxes were hidden in different locations. The Amazons, the Atlanteans, and humans, they respectfully agreed that they need to hide it. So Green Neptune, she hid it in a temple on Amazon. The king of Atlantis at the time hid it. As before Atlantis went underwater, they hid it there, and the humans buried it. And Bruce is now determined to bring his dream team together. He has to bring the Justice League together, knowing that they have to unify to stand up because the bosses were not at the time because of Superman. Since Superman's dead, that's why Steppenwolf is there. And then we get into chapter 3, or part 3, Beloved Mother, Beloved Son. Barry Allen is, and again, I didn't like this scene too much. You have reporter Iris West, and she sees Barry. Barry's late, saying, "I'm late," and she's driving the car. She's just looking at Barry, not paying attention. This guy is eating a sandwich, a burger. She drops the burger. He's like, in the car, trying to get. He's driving like a truck, trying to get it, and the red light hits. He doesn't pay attention, and she's looking at Barry, smiling at him, giving a smile. And then she nearly hit Barry. Of course, she uses power, breaks through the window, saves her. He sees him use power, so I'm sure she knows he's the Flash by now. And he's like kissing the dog, well, not kissing the dog, what I'm saying. But I got the job, and I'm like, I was just annoyed with that scene. I'm like, really? I will admit, even though Iris Miller, he does annoy me, they do kind of tone him down in some stuff, thank goodness. Uh, then you have these Atlantean soldiers that Steppenwolf brings one, approaches him, throws him up to a rock, and you see the guy's head bleed. And he uses this like the spot to get information and does find out what location at in Atlantis is, where it's at. And then Bruce and Diana look for the fires of two metahumans on Luthor's fast drive. Bruce goes to Central City to find Barry. Diana looks for Victor. Uh, he finds Barry eventually. He's like, Barry Allen, I put him in the team and get respect. He's like, hold on, stop there. I'm joining. But he throws the batarang and he catches it, knowing he's a Flash. Obviously, soon because his suit's like right there in the middle of the room. So it's pretty easy to tell. You know, he's like, why use it for this or that? He was just, he's like, where's your superpower again? I'm rich. You do learn about Victor's past a little bit. They do play more on Victor Stone's past, Cyborg's past a little bit. That he was an athlete. He was a football player. He was great. He was like a quarterback for a team. He was a good football player, great one. He had a good future ahead of him. His mother, I forget the mother's name, but sweet lady. She's like, I'm sorry your father couldn't be there. He just caught up being busy at the lab. They get into a car crash. His mother dies. And he's about to die, but Thomas refuses to let him die, so he puts him there and he has the mother box and it turns Victor into Cyborg, the machine that he is now. Turns him into Cyborg, Victor gets hold of their apartment. The relationship is strained for years. But then I do like to see that Victor, his dad leaves him a tape recorder telling him about his abilities, that he can hack into anything, that he can probably help people, because he does have a good heart. Like you said, sometimes he has a good heart. Victor also gets in trouble for, they say, help cheating or whatever on this girl's test. I don't know. Or helping this girl out. He gets in trouble for it. But his mother tells him, bro, principal. He's like, well, what have you ever done right for somebody? And he's like, doesn't have an answer. But it's like he sees this vision of himself as almost going back to his normal human looking self, where he can control the outcome of things, like he can hack the main computer systems and stuff. That Victor, with these abilities, your life is not over. You can change things. You can do something with this power. You have a gift, and you can do something. Like, and Victor sees it as a curse first. He goes out and he sees this lady that her and her daughter trouble money, so he gives him like $100,000, nearly $1 million out. Which, yeah, you can say is okay. That's a little bit of a weird gesture from dude. Maybe wrong for him to get them all that money out of an ATM, but I can see where his heart was in the right place. He's walking in the rain. These people look at him weird. You have Diana who's, you know, talking with Alfred about making tea or whatever. But she says, okay, Alfred, I'm just doing it, Cable doing it. She's on the computer, pushing Victor, and Victor's like, come and find me. He's like, Victor, we need your help. You know, the world's gonna die, or whatever. He's like, and I like when Cyborg just says, fuck the world. It ain't did to me. Look what it did to me. I don't care about that. And she's like, well, I didn't care about it when I lost. Says about leaving, lost love of her life. That was Steve Trevor, of course, Chris Pine. That she lost him. That she felt that way too. Shut herself out, but she just has to change. She says, I'm still dealing with that pain. And Victor just refuses to join up still. And he also tries to talk to, on the recording tape, tries to talk about, he's like, I want to speak to you, not just science about the father. Victor, and then he destroys it because he's mad at his dad. Because he blames his father for his mother's death as well. Which they have a very restrained relationship. He also believes that it gives Victor complete access to all the world's technology systems, strength, and just allow him to fly. Which we do. I forgot to mention. We do see Cyborg fly, and seeing him flying on the earth, flying in the sky. That was pretty cool. Barry goes to visit his father in prison. The guy that played Doctor Manhattan and Watchmen. He's been in prison since Barry was a kid, accused of killing his mother. And his father's like, "Don't waste your life on me." He's like, "Don't ever say that to me again. I'm gonna prove it." Yeah. But that's when he saw Bruce Wayne, though. By the way, which I've already mentioned. Alfred's also designing these gauntlets to absorb energy. Putting on his, on bat suit. Afterwards, Victor grabs the mother box, puts it in a grave to his next to his mother grave to bury it. His father goes home, sees that he's destroyed the tape, but looks around the house a bit, like, Victor, like, where are you going? And then you see this parademon, the parademon attacks. Doesn't kill him, but just kidnaps him because he has knowledge of the mother box. That's why they're kidnapping these people. You can say Silas is probably like their ninth victim that they kidnap. Eventually, Victor comes back home and realizes his father's been kidnapped. Then he decides to join up with the League, with Batman and Wonder Woman and Flash. Steppenwolf eventually arrives in Atlantis to take away the mother box. They do put up a tough fight, though. Mira also gets the blood out of Steppenwolf with her water powers, but even Arthur's interest doesn't stop Steppenwolf. He nearly kills her, but Arthur saves her. And he puts up a fight, but he's able to knock him out, and he's able to get that second mother box and beam away. Beam me up, Scotty. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Oh, Captain Steppenwolf. She won't work. I'm just kidding. But then, Mira's like, please just wait. Let's talk, Arthur. You know, your mother helped me. She raised me too, kind of in a way. And she said, well, she didn't care about me touching. At least one of us knew her. You dare speak of the queen like that. She loved you, Arthur. She loved you. I don't know why, but Amber Heard, I don't like her as Mira, by the way. She's got this kind of accent going on, which I didn't care for. Telling her, your mother cared for you. Now you should take her trident and you should fight her. And eventually he does agree doing that. Yeah. That it would be an Atlantean's responsibility. That's you to go take her, and he decides to do it. And then you have part four. I guess from part four now. Whatever. Change machine for the part of the story. And eventually they come to Diana. This is just those three, and Flash, of course, like, wow, she's gorgeous, and says, "Hi, Barry. I'm Diana." That came out wrong. I'm sorry. Oh, that's your best. No, that's your way. And Of course, who could blame him for shutting up or being speechless on seeing Wonder Woman? Mm. But they go, Gordon is at the GCPD. Guys tell him that Batman's movie. He's like, no, I don't buy it. And there's like, I'll ask him. So he turns the bat signal on. That's when they see the signal. Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash go to him and he tells them about people being kidnapped, where they're at. Cyborg eventually shows up. It's an abandoned facility in Gotham Harbor. Steppenwolf tries to torture captives for information about the last Mother Box location. The Justice League to leave. Eventually, they sneak. Alfred is doing the computer stuff and tells them where it's at. Of course, they're suited up, and they have to sneak around a bit. They have to get to the other side of it. They can't. Well, Batman has to use the grapple, and it's like, I heard you were just a rumor. I was like, well, I'm only not what I'm only needed. And then, Wonder Woman can jump over there. Flash just speeds over there. Cyborg just uses hovers to get over there, and they sneak. And even what I liked about Silas, though, he's strong enough to even step up against. He stands up against Steppenwolf. Even though Steppenwolf can kill him like that, he stands up like, "Don't hurt him. Leave him alone." And he's like, "Maybe you." He's gonna maybe kill him. And uh, Cyborg sees like, "No." Cyborg starts to attack, protecting his dad. Wonder Woman is able to hold. Steppenwolf's like, he's like, "Oh, your mother." He's like, Amazon's like, "You belong to me." He's like, "I belong to no one." They fight for a bit, which is cool. Flash starts saving people. Cyborg, he starts getting his dad out, and everybody else. He's like, "I got this." Kill. He's like, "This way, everybody, this way." And when they go outside, though, these rocks almost land on the people. And Flash just he misses one almost. He's like, no, because he misses one. He misses one, but Cyborg like shoots it with his cannon. And it's all right. Go run now, Barry. Flash. Batman rides what he calls the Nightcrawler, which is pretty cool. Shooting and fighting down some of the enemies. Batman's got his own little gun himself to fight against the parademons. But Steppenwolf though retreats. And he starts to flood the facility. You know, but Arthur shows up to protect him from the wall with a trident, and they do get out of there eventually. He gets this vision of this, we'll call it anti-life equation on Earth. He informs his dad, and turn informs Darkseid. Darkseid's like, you better not fail me again, boy. He tells him to find the last mother box and the unity on Earth. He'll personally come to Earth to find himself to take the anti-life equation, and Steppenwolf can be able to return back home to Apocalypse. So Steppenwolf agrees with this. And with this anti-life equation, he'll be able to not just have the three mother boxes, but with the anti-life equation, he'll be able to take over Earth. And Darkseid, as soon as you bring the last mother box, I'll be coming on my way to Earth. The League then regroups at the Batcave, this situation of how they're going to stop him. The boxes are awake. When Victor recounts how his father awakened the mother box by his body, car accident, they realize Superman death was the trigger that awakened them. They realize that the way the mother boxes work as change machines. They can disrecount, or reconstruct. I'm sorry, disconstruct or reconstruct particles in object depending on the situation. And they figured, well, we gotta bring an image of Superman. They realized we gotta bring Superman back. They have to resurrect him. And then it ends on disc one. Like I said, then the movie ends on there with disc one. Then it says Justice League continuing. Then if you put disc two, and you get the rest of the movie, which has the first part has 15 chapters. The second part, disc one has 15 chapters. Disc two has 11 chapters. So didn't feel that long. And then getting into part six is all the King's horses on disc two. By the way, yeah. Barry Richard Bonds to dig up Clark's coffin. That yeah, they're grave robbers. I'm like, But this time you do have Wonder Woman, Aquaman there just watching them do it, and they're talking about Atlantis talking like, well, I'm half Atlantean. And he's like, you want a beer? He's like, no thanks. And flat, Barry like, do you think I have a chance with her? Barry, you're another guy. She's 5,000 years old. You ain't got no chance. Just like every guy don't have no chance with her. Then they steal his coffin. So the grave robbers, including Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Okay. They go in to infiltrate the Star Labs facility. Vader hacks the systems to trigger an alarm. They reach the Kryptonian ship, place Flashpoint into the, you know, Silas sees them, Silas Stone sees them, Vader's father, and says, never mind, I don't see anybody. And then the Vigilants are like, thanks, Dad. So, both of them go do what you need to do. And so for Aquaman, if you remember when Wonder Woman didn't agree with it, and he said, Bruce says, Steve Trevor tell you to say that? He pushed her. They don't happen. Wonder Woman actually, Diana in this version, Zack Snyder Justice League, she agrees with it. Agrees with doing it. They all do. Except Aquaman. Aquaman says, this is crazy. Hope you two idiots know what you're doing. They put him into the ship where Lex Luthor created Doomsday by using his DNA and his DNA. The Genesis chamber fluid. So, because what Luthor did, even Lex Luthor heard his death, by the way, I forgot to mention at the beginning. Luthor, you don't see him talking, he just hears the death of Superman while seeing like an image of Steppenwolf coming and the three mother boxes. But that was in the beginning. But anyway, there's no charge, so Barry has to really can generate it. Speed Force. Clark gets, I mean, not Clark, Cyborg as Flashlight. We're doing this count. I do like seeing this vision, though, that he has of a terrified vision of a nightmarish Apollo's future in which Darkseid has conquered Earth and killed Diana, Arthur, and Lois. And because of doing that, you see him, like Superman's got his black suit on. Talking about the Injustice story, basically. If you remember Batman v Superman on Justice, Bruce even mentions it, where the future Barry Allen, future Flash tells him, Clark, Clark, we need you. I mean, Bruce, we need you. We need you. Lois is she's the key. She's the key. Talk about Lois Lane. Talking about where he conquers Earth, and I guess because Superman felt like Justice League fell, he's got like holding the body, of his wife Lois, you know, her being dead in his arms, and then Darkseid coming to comfort him. Gets him to join him on the side, and you see like Superman like he's gonna conquer half the Earth himself, join Darkseid because he's like holding Batman's mask, like throwing it. He just very down. He's like, go, go, and he mishears it, so he runs it, drops another box, touches it. Barry gets like tired. Yeah. Superman bumps up in the air over Metropolis. Lois get, again you see Jerry, again played by Mark Floyd, the original Jimmy Olsen from the three Superman movies. Even got his gun out on Superman. You know, pulls his gun out because he doesn't know what's going to happen. And they see the mother box that gets spotted by Silas Stone. Silas Jim Martin takes it in his jacket. Clark then flies to Heroes Park where Arthur, Diana, Victor approach him. He has these super senses, goes haywire. He sees they're nervous. He gets Cyborg nearly attack him. He fights them once again. He's like, hell no. And she uses heat vision. Aquaman tries to attack me. He punches Aquaman, and Wonder Woman he just pushes away easily. And they'll try to like get gain on him, and he like grabs them. Flash runs again, and Superman can tell his speed, and he's like crushing at him, like trips him up or whatever, something like that. Sees Batman, is gonna go fight Batman, going to try to kill him. Aquaman, Flash bumps into him. He pushes Cyborg. Cyborg can like has these fists come out of his back, kind of like Doc Ock or whatever, but it doesn't work. Him and Wonder Woman, he headbutts Wonder Woman, and she like heads him back, but he pushes her real hard. Goes to fight Batman, pushes Batman. Doesn't like in the Johnny Wick version, he like picks him up. Can you bleed? Which we didn't need that. And again, we don't have the bad CGI looking mustache face. Said that Superman tries to use heat vision. I'm like, oh, cool, okay. But he's got the gauntlets that can, with a force shield, like on it to protect him. Using it, Lois Lane. It's like, stop. Then he grabs Lois, flies off with her. She takes him to the camp farm, tells him about his mother. that we had to move on. Like, I missed you, and tells him about his father. He's like, I feel like I'm back, Lois, and he sees his mom hug, down the lane. Martha, they give each other a hug. It was just sweet seeing him giving him a hug and tells him, well, they must have brought him back for a reason. I need to find out why. But meanwhile, during the fight with Superman, Steppenwolf comes by, sees where it's at. Silas, Silas takes some other backpacks to the lab while they're doing this fight, placing in front of a laser. Steppenwolf attacks the facility claimant. Silas locks himself into the other room. He has to wait the laser to shoot the box, basically, for a reason, though. But Victor can only help. He's like, no, and then, Steppenwolf like, pushes him away. His father gets vaporized, and Steppenwolf takes the box and beams away. He realizes that though his father used the laser to heat the core of the mother box, make it easier for the League to find with a scanner, basically to help them save the world. Now that they can track Steppenwolf, he gets ready to the offense attack. Victor plugging into the mother boxes and Barry running to build up the change to help him undo this unity. Then you have part 7, something darker. I already mentioned about Clark and Lois in Smallville. He tells, Wonder Woman tells Diana about the future. She is the key because everyone has a heart, including him. So they have to get ready to get the blind box for get to Steppenwolf space. Steppenwolf space. Sorry. Clark goes to the scout ship where he reflects on the words of his two fathers. That is, his Earth father, Jonathan Kent, and his father and Kryptonian biological father, Jor-El. He'll love them. As well as he's like, son, you're meant to this is who you are. You're Superman. You're meant to be this way. You're gonna fly, son. And he flies, and that was awesome. And I did like the black suit. But one thing I missed about Superman is they took his sense of humor away. I did like that Josh Whedon gives Superman a sense of humor, making him a happy chap. I like that. Him smiling and stuff. He doesn't hear, but I did wish he would go back to joking a little more. I did like that Snyder in this version did take a bit of the Flash from running his mouth at the time, toning him down a bit, which I liked. Then he goes to visit Bruce home. He sees Alfred. He's like, "You must be Alfred." He's like, "Oh, Master Kent, yes." And he fills in all the details. Then the League gets ready. You know, I think your Flash was just. Oh, I was annoyed by that. But they just get ready, good music going on. They arrive at Steppenwolf's base. Batman breaks down the defense barrier. Says, "Go, you fight the parademons," and he uses the Batwing to destroy it. You know, the defense baser. And I did like the action scenes here. They're fighting away the parademons. Batman uses a gun, but they're like, Batman, you ain't gonna die. You are crazy. And Wonder Woman uses them to slash the sword with some of them at the parademons, killing some of the parademons. Batman shoots some of the parademon. Flash just runs because Cyborg has to get close to the mother box. He blows into the Unity while Barry has to run to build up the charge. Then Batman holds off the parademons. He uses a cannon, which I thought was cool, and he blows up the cannon. Wonder Woman Aquaman occupied Steppenwolf. They fight with Steppenwolf, and just Wonder Woman like your daughter, all your sisters are dead. So she was like, you're lying. He fights with her. She uses her strength, a bracelet, like a force shield to fight him. And then Superman comes joining and needs to beat Steppenwolf, which I liked. I mean, he uses heat vision. He's punching him, gets some of his arm off his head, like breaks one of his horns off. Gives Wonder Woman Aquaman a moment to recover, but they do rejoin the fight. They toss Steppenwolf like a rag doll. Ritter gets ready to receive the charge. Barry gets knocked down by a well-placed parademon sniper that shoots at him. And he's like, ah, I'm hurt. Then he's got to, they're about to lose. So Barry has to like calm down and run back in time a little bit. If ever as a team. So Barry gets into the Speed Force. There's he must break one rule. Gets into the Speed Force. He turns time around, the Unity giving Victor the charge that he needs. Victor's plugged into the mother boxes, then he needs Superman to help him. He gets this vision of his parents and saying that you could be here with us. You could be back with us. That if the Unity does work, he helps them survive. But Victor rejects it, knowing that this is all a trick, that he's not broken alone anymore. And he undoes the Unity, rendering the mother boxes useless. He shot, losing that he's lost finally. Stepping up to try to attack, but I do like when he stabbed him. Aquaman stabs him with a trident, knocking him out. Superman then pushes him to the portal. Darkseid has been watching the battle from he's getting ready to come over there. Wonder Woman finishes the job by cutting. She cuts his head off, which I like that. It's not the parademons that attack him. That didn't make sense in the original. In the with Josh Whedon version, he just gets attacked. But here, he gets stabbed. He gets punched by Superman. Wonder Woman, cuts his head off. And then when he comes over, busted. You see, D said, I guess his other servant, and you see this old woman that I'm sure is a granny goodness. And then he puts, with his son says Steppenwolf said he steps on his head, he crushes his like, are we getting back at you guys? He looks like the Justice League has a moment staring at them, like, I'll be coming back soon kind of look. And they're looking like we'll be ready for you. Darkseid does that he will require the anti-life equation, whatever it means necessary. They board the Meanwhile Lee boards the flying box and they return all home. After their father twice over. Victor restores the broken tape recorder listening to his dad. Makes him cry knowing that his dad did love him. He visits his parents and finally made peace with himself and his father, trying to make the most of his second chance at life. Says goodbye to Vocal. Arthur says goodbye to Vocal and Mary. Tells that he needs to go visit his father. Ryan is promoted to head Star Labs. Bruce, Diana are committed to return Diana, who's compelling to return to Themyscira. Alfred looks over the former Wayman and decides to be converted into a base of operations for the Justice League. Barry has gotten a job at the Central City PD's crime lab, making his dad proud, Henry. Bruce also has helped the Kents reclaim the family farm because he bought the bank, getting his mother's her house back, the Kent farm back. Then you have Lex Luthor, who escaped Arkham Asylum, visited by Slade Wilson, to whom Luthor reveals his identity to. Just this time he says it's personal. He does say leave it alone, but apparently, he tells him it's Bruce Wayne. That's who Batman is, Bruce Wayne. He's like, good, that's all I need to know. He's like, we have the drink. District was like, we're in business. Now, what baffles me still is how in the hell did Lex Luthor and Batman v Superman die? Maybe it explains it in the director's cut. I need to watch the director's cut, but in the original version of that movie, it never explains it. Because off screen, he was able to find out who Superman was and find out who Batman was off screen. Like, how in the world did he know that? Even though the future hasn't come to pass, Darkseid does take over Earth. He does, of course, get the anti-life equation and getting Batman to his side. I mean, Superman. Batman leads this resistance that is a future Barry Allen, who has like this cool looking machine or whatever. And of course, Cyborg. He like wears Flash like wears this armor with a helmet on it. Then you have Mira. She's like Batman. You don't know what I'm talking about. He killed Arthur. I will get him. She's talking about Superman, of course. Then you have Slade Wilson and the Joker. Long time our senators argue about Batman's past failures, including the death of Robin, Jason Todd, who the Joker personally did kill, and Lois. Batman failed to protect Lois from being killed by Darkseid, and he aims to undo this nightmare by using Barry's time travel abilities to save her. And I guess you say Harley Quinn, again played by Margot Robbie, died and made Batman. He's like, don't screw with me, and I will fucking kill you. I'm going to. And I didn't mind the way Joker. Again, I didn't like Joker in the Suicide Squad, but here I do like the version a little more. I like that his hair is down and he's just like he's been out of the crazy place. Superman then appears and he like Joker, and they prepare to fight him. Then Bruce wakes up in his bed after this nightmare. Well, you can say it's not a nightmare, but it's a vision of the future, which is come. He walks inside the patio and he meets John Jones. Darkseid's not going to stop until he's part of the anti. He's coming back, and then he's like, "Well, I'm here to help you when you need me. Just call me Martian Manhunter. You guys can trust me." And it's like, "Okay, well, welcome to the team." And then the movie ends there, and that's the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right, guys, let me get my final thoughts on this movie, okay? All right, then I'll be done with the video. So Zack Snyder's Justice League, I love this film. This was really good. I really enjoyed this. First of all, the story I thought was better. I liked that they added more to the story. That it took a little time. I didn't mind the parts. It's like I said, it's on disc one, disc two. Yes, guys, it is 214 minutes long. But the good news is you do have disc one and a disc two, and it didn't feel that long to me. But if it was a whole movie, yeah, it'd be longer. But I like that it's kind of like this one, this two show you like this one is part one, two, three, four, and then just two like five, six, and seven or and eight, ending it. So, but this was pretty entertaining. I did enjoy this. Uh, I thought the story was good. I thought the film was well shot. I thought Zack Snyder did a good job bringing this back. I thought the script and the writing, and the story was good. I thought the cast. I thought Ben Affleck did good. He didn't look bored here. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Gilbert as Wonder Woman, and especially Victor Stone. I mean, Ray Fisher as Victor Stone Cyborg did a really good job in here. I'm glad that they went more in depth with his character, and I liked Superman coming back to life and just hearing, going back to the ship and hearing his two fathers' voices and seeing him fly again. That was amazing. And when the action hits place, the action is good. I like seeing Batman action. Batman like shoots, he shoots at one of the parademons. He shoots one of their heads off. When Batman's in action, that was pretty cool. Seeing the most of the Flash running, yes, I still don't like him as Flash. Cinematography was really nice. I like the cinematography in the film. The editing, the action scenes I thought were well shot. Steppenwolf I thought was an awesome villain here. I'm not gonna lie, it's awesome to see Darkseid. Maybe they're planning to build up. If we had Snyder, this film should have been released in theaters in my opinion because I think it would have done well. I think it would have made good money. And if it did, instead of putting it on HBO Max, I guess they couldn't release it. These people don't want to sit there for 4 hours, which again I could somewhat agree. You know, But people would, I'm sure, if they really wanted the Snyder cut, which we got, I'm sure they'd be willing to. I would have willing to sit for 4 hours of the film. The thing is, we probably would have had Darkseid try to come for the anti-life equation, and then I would love to see him and Superman have a battle. And if DC would have taken their time though, instead of rushing these films out, like it might have still started off perfectly. In my opinion, it did. Then it would have gotten lighter. If they would have taken their time though, if we would have had like a Batman movie afterwards, just a Batman film, then a Wonder Woman film, Aquaman movie, then you could have had Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice, or just a Cyborg film, a Flash movie, and then a Batman vs Superman movie, then a Justice League movie. If they would have took their time, the thing is, MCU worked when it came out. Marvel worked because with Iron Man, they had a plan for each movie. They planned it out. They didn't rush it. You know, but I can't. The music score is fine. Uh, Again, I felt like the pacing was fine here. The pacing was a bit slow in the first movie, and the story didn't really make much sense. And you know, and the CGI was a lot more worse in that movie. I do think the CGI was good, especially on Steppenwolf and Darkseid. The CGI for them was real good. Terrence Steen did a real good job. He's a lot better here as the voice of Steppenwolf. Does a lot better job here than he did in playing the devil in Ghostbusters Revenge. I thought he was terrible in that, but he was real good in here. Now problems. Like I said, the film is a bit too long. You could trim some stuff down. I didn't need the whole thing Wonder Woman at the bank again. You could cut that out. You know, they cut Batman fighting off with the parademons, which fine. Maybe a little bit more scenes with Commissioner Gordon. Cyborg, I'm glad that they gave him more of a pass, so I can't complain about that. Some of the music score, some of the songs that are put in this movie, I care about the songs. Just give me Wonder Woman's theme, and I love hearing that. Yeah, I get it. They put some stuff back in here, but some of those you should have not done. You know, but I did like that Wonder Woman in that bank scene. It was the same thing, but I'll say this: it was improvement over the action, and this little girl being awestruck by her and her telling you DNA, you want like she's an inspiration to him. That was really good. I like seeing more of Connie Nelson as the character. Robert Wright, you just see her in one scene in the past, which is better shot in my opinion. It's cool to see Darkseid. Darkseid is one of Superman's greatest villain. He's one of the best DC villains ever, in my opinion. Uh, the story is real good. It's just that maybe the film you could have trimmed stuff down a little bit. I could have, I wish they would have recast Amber Heard and Jared Little, you know. But I like seeing the future in here. I can complain about Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice, but here I liked it. It made more sense. I like that we saw Martian Manhunter. I think they were, if this film would have hit theaters, it would have been a real hit. Zack Snyder could have made his own Justice League 2, and we could have gotten better movies after it. Because I would love to see that future. But due to MCU films in later years, 2022, 3, 4, did not start doing well at the box office. And that's why we got James Gunn now taking over. And hopefully James Gunn will be in complete control. Him and DC will be in complete control. Warner Brothers won't interfere. They don't need to. Just have a plan one by one with these movies. You know, that's how to be successful, I think. Like I said, some of the music's not good. I don't care for some of the soundtrack. And the cast does a good job. I really enjoy this movie. Each of the parts are really enjoyable. The story's very intriguing. I didn't fall asleep once. I didn't get bored once. I enjoyed it. They didn't Flash, and yeah, I still hate Ezra Miller as a Flash. I do not like him. He's annoying. At least thank God I hated the Flash movie from 2023. We don't get two Ezra Millers. That's even more annoying. He's annoying here as well. I would cut some of his scenes out, like with his father or him meeting Iris. I didn't care about that. I don't see no chemistry between these two. They'll just have chemistry, right? Because you give each other certain looks. That's not chemistry. You know, if I want to see that, I'll just go watch the one from the Flash CW show with Barry and Iris, Candace Button and Grant. Grant Gustin. They had better chemistry because they grew up together, and I bought them falling in love with each other. It's more believable. And here, Barry and Iris in these movies, especially the Flash, the romance is forced, and I don't buy it. And I didn't care for the actress play Iris in this movie either. This did not do nothing for me. Joe Morton, I was glad they gave him more to do as well. I was also glad they gave Cyborg a history as well. Cyborg was my favorite character of this movie. I felt more sorry for him in this film. And I can see why Batman was trying to do his truth. He was inspired by Superman. That he's basically trying to save the world. Batman always likes to have a backup plan, but that's Batman. But the suit was cool. The even though the Batmobile, sorry, Batmobile and his gadgets are still cool. Having those goggles were cool that he wears, and I do like the bat suit. It does remind me of Frank Miller's bat suit from Dark Knight Returns, which is cool. Because his version is like an older Batman that's been Batman for 20 years, has a lot of experience. He's lost his lot, over the years. You can say they don't mention ever Dick Grayson, but Dick Grayson assumed that he's Nightwing, and maybe Barbara got shot by Joker and his injured back. Jason Todd got killed, so he's lost quite a bit. And seeing Superman in here was real good as well. I just wish that they gave him his sense of humor back. That's what I loved in Justice League, where Superman was being funny, being lighthearted, which is the Superman I love, But Henry Cavill still felt did a good job. I don't blame him on that. But Zack Snyder should focus on making Superman more lighthearted, make him smile a little more, you know. Like Josh Whedon gave him a good, that. But I do think Henry Cavill deserves another shot at Superman, in my opinion. But I'm not saying I'm gonna not see this new Superman. I'm not interested, and not because I hate the actor that's playing Superman. No, I just don't have no interest or really care. But if I do hear good things about it, maybe I'll give it to it. I mean, it was cool in the show when Superman does say, I know people make fun of him when he says, "Look up," And the Superman suit I do think looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. In the new movie, although you can't beat the Christopher Reeve version, in my personal opinion. But the way, I did love this movie. I love this director's cut was an improvement. Just like the Daredevil director's cut was improvement the PG-13 version. Even though I still like that theatrical version of Daredevil. I like some things theatrical version of Justice League, but the story was sloppy. It was a mess. It made no sense. Like here, it seems like they took their time with it. And Zack Snyder, this is the true version of Justice League, in my opinion. That should have been made. I would keep some like Superman sense of humor. I don't mind the black suit when he comes back. I think that does happen. He's like a black suit in the comics, I guess. But I always like his blue and red suit. That's just me. But that's Justice League really good. Even though I have my problems with it, like they could trim some stuff down. I don't like the Flash. I already mentioned. I think my problems I have with it. What I like about it enough. But it does have a very good story. It is entertaining. The story is intriguing. And if you hated the 2017 film, I definitely recommend this. You just got to have a lot of time and patience with it. It does take time with the story, which I'm fine with. Avengers Endgame took time with the story. I would say that's a better movie, but mainly because I love the cast a lot more in that movie. I like the cast here, except the Flash, But the other cast members I did enjoy in here. I thought this film was real good. and I thought it was great. I loved it. And but I say I do have a problem with it still. I still say it's a good movie though, really good. Definitely a much an improvement and a better version of the Justice League we should have gotten. And if it was released in theaters, I think we would have got more movies. But they could have, with those movies, you could have trimmed down the runtime though. But anyway, my rating for this film, Zack Justice League, I'm gonna give this film a thumbs up and 4 to 5 stars. So again, my rating for this film is 4 to 5 stars. Double check if you hated that version, Josh Whedon version Justice League. Check out Zack Justice League. I'm not trash on Josh Whedon. I know I heard some things about him, but I don't know. But if you want to see him make a better superhero movie, watch The Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. I recommend those. And Zack Justice League, watch these as well. They're great as well. So definitely, that was great. So again, my rating for the film is 4 to 5 stars and a thumbs up. Tell me guys in the comments down below. What do you think of this movie in your opinion? What is it? Which version do you prefer? This version, Snyder's version, or Joss Whedon's version? And what's your favorite Justice League movie? Animated? What are some of your favorite Justice League movies? Animated movies? Live action ones too. Tell me in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe. And the next video. Wait a minute, it's not that. No. Let's see, this was March. Okay, May. It is another DC animated movie. I'm looking at the wrong one. It's an MCU movie, but it's not next. No, that was like July. Guys, by the way, I reviewed a movie called Batman Soul of the Dragon, Batman Halloween Part 1 and 2 on my other channel. They're my Batman reviews. I'm going to share them. Let's see. It should be that, well, it was released on DVD and Blu-ray on May 11th. On April, yeah, in 2021. It is the 43rd film of the DC Universe and the second installment of the DC animated movie, or second phase, and the seventh overall. Okay, anyway, that is the 2021 animated superhero film Justice Society. Let's see. That is Justice Society World War II. So stay tuned, guys, for this next review. I think I won't be off till Saturday. I mean Sunday though. So yeah, you won't be seeing me for these good couple of days. I'll be working. But when I go back doing videos though, the 43rd DC animated movie in this universe, the next one will be Justice Society World War II. Like I said, I reviewed those 3 Batman movies already, which yeah. Anyway, Justice Society World War II. I've never seen this movie before, but this will be the next super review, so stay tuned for this review. So, guys, I'll see you then. Tell me in the comments down below what do you think of Snyder Justice League in your opinion. What do you think of what's your favorite super movie that he's directed? Mine would be Watchmen, but what do you think of Man of Steel? What do you think of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice? Or the Ultimate Edition, which I haven't seen. If you've seen that, let me know what you think about it. But what do you think of Watchmen in your opinion? And any of the movies that he's directed, including like Dawn of the Dead, the 300 movies. What do you think of him as director in your opinion? Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. And again, my rating for this one was 4 to 5 stars and thumbs up for Assassin's Creed Justice League. Sorry. And stay tuned for the next review, that 2021 review. Remember, in the year 2021, film came out in May, and that was Justice Society World War II. That will be next. So stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm being weird, so thanks for watching. Bye bye. See you later.